the architecture, the hardware that goes in to make this a fantastic on-road and off-road capable car, explain some of the fundamentals of how the vehicle achieves the breadth, capability, toughness and durability that it does, and then I'll hand over to Rob, and Rob will talk through some of the tech hardware, some of the software solutions we've employed to really make a 21st century Defender. So let's start with our bespoke architecture. We call it D7X. The X stands for Extreme. It's 100% new aluminium intensive monocoque. It delivers the breadth of capability required for today's Defender. It has all of the off-road clearances we want and need, all of the stiffnesses we need, which are fundamental to the toughness. It is simply the best. The principal benefit of this strength and the weight efficiency that comes from its aluminium monocoque deliver things such as a 7-ton vertical impact load. I'll talk more about that a little later. The roof can have 3 people, my size, stand on it, so 300 kilograms you can stand on the roof. And of course it has a load carrying capacity on that same roof of 168 kilograms. It's got recovery front and rear, each able to withstand 6.5 tons of snatch load. It's engineered to meet all of the latest safety standards, and the stiff body structure provides perfect NVH, on-road dynamic responses and fantastic comfort. Plus, it's a Land Rover, so therefore it's got amazing towing capability, only limited by the legislated trailer masses in each of the world's markets. So we combine that rigid structure with excellent physical geometry. We've got 2 wheelbases, you've heard them referred to as the 90 and the 110. The difference between the two is 435 millimetres, so the 90 has a wheelbase of 2.59 metres, the 110 3.02 metres. And that 400 millimetres of difference really delivers a different character, a different driving character between the 90 and the 110. Both of those vehicles, though, share approach and departure angles. So the approach angle 38 degrees, the departure angle, the best of any Land Rover in the market today, is 40 degrees. It's got 291 millimetres of ground clearance, 500 millimetres of wheel articulation. So in combination, the geometry of this vehicle is perfect for every off-road situation. The Defender also has a rear side hinged tail door. It supports the spare wheel. We put the wheel on the back, so there is no compromise to departure angle. The tailgate is actually made up of a composite, aluminium extrusions, castings, and then the claddings are steel that go on the outside of those extrusions and castings. It's designed and validated to meet all of our tough durability standards. So you've heard from Alan earlier, and Amy also, about the thought they've applied to the interior, materials for the Defender. They've all been chosen for robustness and cleanability, and the design is there for space and practicality. The 90 is actually shorter than an Audi A3 or a Ford Focus, and yet you can get up to 6 people in it. You can have 3 in the rear, as you would expect, but you can also have 3 in the front using our jump seat. It's a nice little nod to the original Defender, and of course it's extremely practical. The jump seat can actually fold down to create an armrest. It's got cup holders in, and of course some power outlets. The jump seat also comes with the clear sight rear view mirror, so when you have someone sitting in that centre seat, you can flick it onto the screen on the rear view mirror and still see rearwards clearly. And of course it's a Land Rover, so it has fantastic command driving position. The seating position in Defender is actually 35 millimetres higher than today's Range Rover, so the full-size Range Rover that is. You can see all 4 corners with ease. It's very reassuring in any environment, on or off-road. All of the controls are in easy reach. Rob's going to talk some more about those controls later. And as Alan described earlier, there's integrated grab handles throughout the vehicle for you to use should you need them. Defender is an efficient package and easy to access stowage. So attached to this supremely strong body structure, we have tough steel subframes front and rear. Our suspension, we have coil and air derivatives. and the front is dual wishbone, the rear integral link design. The suspension arms, bushes and ball joints have all been tested at the extreme. We've actually rewritten all of our standards to increase the loads to really make sure this is a fully validated, fully capable vehicle. Perhaps a good example of our extreme durability test is our curb strike. So this test is a 200mm or 8-inch curb. You drive the vehicle fully laden at that curb at 40 km/h. Do it more than 5 times. It exceeds that test. This is the test that actually puts 7 tons of load into the body structure, so peak load of 7 tons, huge load. The air suspension is also available on this vehicle. There'll be a coil derivative as well, but air suspension can lift the front 135mm, 145mm at the rear, again giving you that ability to enhance off-road. In combination, that air suspension also helps us to achieve a 900mm of wading, as you have seen on the full-size Range Rover and Range Rover Sport and Discovery today. This car has that same capability. We developed a range of tyres for Defender, so all-season, all-terrain and the professional off-road. Every single one is 815mm of outside diameter. It has a very large contact patch. You can drive up Big Red in Dubai without even having to change the tyre pressures. In total, there's 12 wheel designs that you can see here, ranging from 18-inch to 22-inch, including a steel wheel in white on the 18-inch there. So we've got extreme structure, we've got great suspension. Next piece, we need superior driveline hardware. The Defender is permanently all-wheel drive. It has a twin-speed transfer box, locking differentials, centre and rear. This vehicle, if you saw the reveal this morning, can not only drive down 45-degree slopes, it can drive up those 45-degree slopes as well. For braking, we've applied the very latest in the brake-by-wire technology. The brakes actually, or the brake pedal, actually no longer is connected to the master cylinder. The pedal now contacts an actuator that controls a piston drive within the hydraulic braking system, and it enables us to deliver a quieter, more responsive and more efficient braking system. It's precise, provides linear brake pressure to deliver superior dynamics and better control. This system, this control loop system, can actually act in faster than the blink of an eye, so 150 milliseconds is the control loop time, and we use it to enable features such as advanced hill hold. So when you're driving up that 45-degree slope, the vehicle, if you take your foot off, will not roll back. The hill hold actually holds it at that 45 degrees to enable you to concentrate on pulling away in the forwards direction and of course steering. So as well as being supremely capable in any environment, it's efficient as well. So for example, aerodynamic efficiency. The Defender has a flat floor. This cutout here is actually for the exhaust and also for the fuel tank. So it is a flat floor, brilliant for aerodynamics, brilliant for sand driving and ice driving as well. We've actually, in combination of that and a lot of effort with the exterior design team to put sophisticated aerodynamic detailing into the surface of the exterior of the car, we managed to deliver a CD of 0.38. We've even actually positioned the spare wheel on the back exactly where we need it to actually benefit the weight and help with drag reduction. So, supporting that efficiency, we have 4 engines. 2 petrols, 2 diesels, 4 and 6 cylinder. All of those engines are designed, engineered and manufactured by ourselves, by Jaguar Land Rover in the UK. We have the 6-cylinder Ingenium engine. It's new, it's electrified, it's got a 48 volt MHEV and produces 400 PS, 550 Newton meters of torque. It's got a great combination of technology, so it has a 48 volt E-supercharger, electric supercharger for enhanced response. It has twin scroll turbocharging for improved drivability, and of course it has continuous variable valve timing, valve lift, and variable cam timing for combustion efficiency. The 48 volt system that you can actually see on this cutaway car recoups energy when coasting and adds torque infill during put away, again to enhance that performance and reduce engine load to improve efficiency. All of the MHEV components are packaged beneath the floor, so there is no compromise to the cabin space. To test and validate the new Defender, we've been further than we have ever been before. We've done over 1.2 million kilometres of test miles. We've had a global test programme. Talked already about Big Red in Dubai. We've been to Moab in Nevada to go up the trails there. We've been to the Arctic Circle, and we've even been to the Nürburgring. But of course, we don't just want to send cars around the world. We actually need to be able to do testing at Gaydon as well, and we've replicated all of these environments at our test facility in Gaydon, so we can now be in the middle of Warwickshire doing jungle driving in the outback and autobahn, all within our single site, so effectively all on our doorstep. But it's not just about distance, it's also about severity of testing. And to do that, we have a combination of rig and of course the real world testing we've done, or talked about already. We've taken Defender to extremes. It's conquered everything we have been able to throw at it. Everywhere we have tested it, it has excelled. It really has unsurpassed capability, the best on all terrains. So, as you would expect, Defender is composed and confident on broken, rough and gravel surfaces. It's engaging, it's not tiring. You can actually drive it all day, off-road, go to sleep, get out the following day and do exactly the same thing again. It just munches those miles in those off-road conditions and puts a smile on your face. If you're going even further, of course we've got those off-road tyres such as the Goodyear Duratrax for those extreme adventures, and if you want to, you can also have the Defender winch accessory. It's integrated into the front bumper, has a maximum pull force of 4.5 tonnes and can be operated up to 45 metres away from the vehicle. So Defender, put simply, will keep going as far as you want to. Now, you would expect Defender or a Land Rover to be fantastic off-road, but we really think that what will surprise you even more is the on-road character, the on-road capability. The original Defender, I think we all loved it, well certainly I did. It had fantastic character, but it also had a lot of compromises. The new Defender, on-road, has a dynamic response, it has fantastic drivability, it has a connected feel, it's enjoyable and engaging, refined, comfort, effortless performance means it is not only perfect for those long days off-road, but it's perfect for those long days on the road as well. But it can also be your everyday car. We think the new Defender really has its own unique personality, but it also honours the spirit of the original. So that's the fundamentals of the hardware, and I'm going to hand over to Rob, who's going to tell you more about the technology that's under the skin. Cheers.
Thank you, Alex. Afternoon, everyone. Right, so Alex has just taken you through perhaps capability that you're expecting us to talk about, capability off-road and capability on-road. I'm going to talk to you about a third axis of capability that we've defined for Defender, which you might not expect, which is connected capability. So this car, it's always on, it's always connected, and it's always up to date, and that's essential in the digital world that we all live in. So we started from scratch actually. This car brings to market our next generation electrical architecture, and we created this because we knew we needed to handle more data, we needed to handle it more frequently, and we needed to move that data around at higher speed. So we've got 3 what we call domain controllers. We've centralised the computing on the car into 3 domain controllers, and they're connected by 100 megabyte per second Ethernet. That network can handle messages at 21,000 messages at any one time. Of course, it's connected to the cloud via 4G and Wi-Fi, and we have multi-layered cyber security to protect that information. In fact, the whole car is protected by our ultra-wideband key system. You may hear other people talking about ultra-wideband whilst we show today. We came to the market with ultra-wideband 2 years ago with Range Rover, and it's a key that uses vectoring and position technology every 20 nanoseconds to determine the authority of the car to drive with the key in the person's hand. So it simply prevents theft. And so far, and it's been tested by some publications that you may be aware of, so far it's undefeated. So ultra-wideband key is standard on Defender. First of all, domain controllers is PIVI, which is our next generation infotainment system. Now, With the infotainment system, it has fast processors, QNX smartphone-like processors, it has a consumer device-like operating system, and it has a very simple menu structure and feel. So as you can see from the animation, we've worked really hard to reduce cognitive load, so that 90% of the things that you need to do, you can do just by one tap on the front screen. We call it a flat structure. The navigation system, we've re-engineered the navigation engine, so it now learns your routine. It has machine learning. It can predict from your routine the sorts of places you're likely to go depending on the time you're in the car, and it can present those to you as choices in the first menu. You can link it to your calendar if you like, so there's no excuse for being late anymore, because the calendar will be able to get the destination to the car. You can set it on your phone and flick it to the car if that's what you want. You can look at information on your journey, such as weather. You can check weather and other sources of information like news whilst you're driving. And when you get to your destination, you can even pay for parking. And of course, Pivi is compatible with Baidu Life, Android Auto, and Apple CarPlay. Pivi is supported by two other displays in the car, so we have a choice of instrument clusters. We're showing you the 12.3-inch TFT there, and a full colour hood, which is a first for Defender. We've never had hood on a Defender before. And again, we've been obsessed with reducing cognitive load, so only presenting information that's essential for the driver in the place where it's most easily accessed by them. So again, the TFT cluster there showing a very simple, clear, reduced information view, whilst the hood is there showing for the first time terrain response information. So you can see there it was showing you headway orientation and inclination, which just puts that information right in the driver's eye line when in the most difficult terrains. And because we've got this connected capability, we can use that to enhance terrain response. So Land Rover's had terrain response for many years. You'll be familiar with the programs that you can select from grass, gravel, snow, mud and ruts, etc. And we introduced auto terrain response with Range Rover. We've now taken it a step further. For Defender, we've got a configurable terrain response, and we've done that deliberately because we think owning and using a Defender is an interactive experience. We want you to be involved with the car. We want people to experiment with how the car behaves. So in configurable terrain response, you can choose from your choice of settings of differentials, throttle, steering, etc.